Hello and welcome to Leagues Ahead, the vodcast for the Arena Gauntlet League that looks at future league offerings and gives you a preview of the rules. My name is Dr. Christopher C. York. I am a philosopher of sport and games, and I am the founder of the Arena Gauntlet League. And today, once again, we have a back-to-back return guest on Leagues Ahead. It went so well last time. Our chemistry was so spot on and solid that we've invited back Adam Schoenborn. Thank you very much, Adam, for agreeing to meet with me and talk about the rules for Bloomburrow League.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me back.
So first things first, we want to get right into this cutesy, furry world of Bloomburrow. Obviously, the flavor is very appealing to a lot of players for various reasons. And we want to try to make the rules reflect that kind of immersion in the magical world of Bloomburrow. Can you run us through the basic rules and how we've kind of tried to attach flavor with the determinant mechanics?
Yeah, absolutely. So the main kind of thing for this league is, because the set is based around 10 animals, we're going to be doing each of your 10 losses in the league. You visit one of those 10 animal tribes or animal folk, and you get a special boon unique to that one. So you'll get a choice of 3 of the 10 for each of your losses. And from those 3, you pick one and get the little special thematic bonus that comes with visiting that animal that week. And once you've chosen one, that's it. You don't get to visit that one again. So there'll be a little bit of strategy around how you sequence ones that you visit. Should be pretty good. They're also very fun and flavorful, I think.
Yeah, as I understand it, not all animals are created equal. So it's a little bit against the message of Animal Farm here, right? With some boons are more desirable than others. Can you just run us through briefly each of the 10 boons and tell us which are your favorite?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I actually don't even know though which are more powerful. I think we've done a pretty good job balancing. And I should also say, I think as we launch, we're going to soft launch this league and let there be a little bit of public debate around if people think these are well enough balanced, if there's any really big outliers in terms of way too powerful, not powerful enough, then we will leave ourselves a little window to adjust any of these. So as you read the rules, keep an eye out for that. Kind of think about which ones are obviously really strong or obviously really weak. But we've tried to balance them. We've tried to make them pretty even. We'll see. I'll walk you through them and people can see what they think. So the 10 animals are bats, birds, frogs, lizards, mice, otters, rabbits, raccoons, rats, squirrels. So each one of those corresponds to its own pack and its own little bonus that you get when you choose that one. So, for example, bats, their theme is sort of cave exploration. So the pack you get if you visit the bats is Lost Caverns of Ixalan. And your bonus is you get 2 map tokens, which are coming back from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, the league mechanic that we had. And those tokens will allow you to re-roll any pack that you open in the league and replace it with a random explorer pack.
Yeah, already, I'm loving this. Coming out of MH3, I'm not a fan of the mono set leagues. I'm vociferously against them. So already I'm enjoying return to Lost Caverns of Ixalan, the last league I top aided, non-coincidentally perhaps.
Top aided that one.
Map tokens are always great, I think. Sorry, go on.
I think that one introduces more chaos than most of the options that we've got, but there's a nice little level of chaos in there for you. For the chaos lovers. And
I do like that you get a random explorer pack on the reroll. That's kind of that lets a lot of potential cards into card pools that wouldn't ordinarily get in there. So I think it's going to leave a really, your bat choice is going to leave an indelible mark on your league pool, I would think.
I think so. I think it's going to be really good. I'm pretty excited. I'm excited for that one. So you're asking for my favorites. That's definitely up there. I think like really nails a certain flavor for bats.
All right, who's our next
I'll
animal?
keep going
Yeah.
to give you some more ideas. When you visit the birds, the theme is sort of bird's eye view. And so you'll get a pack of Bloomburrow, and you will also, as your bonus, get to choose from any of the remaining options for your next pack and bonus. So if you really wanted the bat next, you don't have to wait for it to come up in your random 3 selections. The bird will let you pick anyone you want to go to next.
And does that eliminate that choice for you in the future? Like, so let's say, for example, that I want to go to bat from the bird. So I've exhausted the bird option. Have I also exhausted the bat option?
Once for your next pack, you'll be able to select bat, and that will exhaust it.
Okay.
So you will have nothing allows you to visit more than once. Each of your 10 losses will go to one of these 10, and you won't be able to go back again to the same one.
And we should note, right, that I think that the way that this mechanic was flavored, I think it kind of harkens back to early design when we were looking at things in terms of like a map mechanic for Bloomburrow, right? And the bird sort of lets you jump anywhere on the map that you wanted to go. Even though the map element has disappeared conspicuously from the rule set, I think this is a bit of a callback to that sort of kernel, that design kernel that was there from the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's right, Dan. That was our original vision for this, was sort of having people move around the map. But the choose from a random 3 options, I think it works a little better. It just didn't have some of the problems that the map idea had.
Yeah.
So we've tested this out a little bit, and we think this is the way to go. I think it's great.
Yeah, like I said before, we just had our first league committee in-person meeting, and during that I said I've got strong LCI vibes, Lost Caverns, Vixelon vibes from this league design, and I love it. I think it's great. And can we maybe tell people where the map idea maybe might get pushed to? Can we preview at least that much? All right, let's just say that we're no promises, but we're trying to make it work again in Duskmorn because we have a house there, and houses have blueprints. It lends itself very well to a map treatment. So I think for like the 3rd or 4th league, we're going to try to make some sort of map mechanic work. You know, stay tuned to the next leagues ahead to see if we actually stick the landing this time, or if we just end up constructing something completely different again. All right, what's our next animal, Adam?
Next one is frog. This one's spicy. This one also harkens back. You were talking about harkening back to the map idea, but actually the real original idea from this came from Jaden in the league crafting thread, when originally we'd talked about each of the animals being a faction in the league and maybe having asymmetrical abilities for each of the animals.
Yep.
We still like that idea, but it wasn't really workable here. We workshopped that a fair bit, and that turned into this idea. So this is actually, I think, almost exactly what Jayden had put forward as the idea for frogs in his pitch. And it's the idea is you leap ahead. So when you take frog, you get 2 packs. 1 pack of Bloomsburrow, 1 pack of Random Explorer. But then, because you're getting a double pack, for your next pack and bonus, you skip it. So you'll still pick an animal to visit on your next pack, but you won't get anything at all for that one.
So your worst animal boon, you can just ignore it, essentially.
Yeah, that's the idea. You want to pick something that you're not very interested in for your follow-up to it.
Yeah.
You could also try to leave frog for the very end, and then you don't miss out on anything. But then you don't get your double pack until really late in the league. So there's a little tension there.
I like that tension. I also like the fact that you mentioned that another kernel of design that we have in this league was that we were going to try to make it our first 10-faction league, right? So in other words, our first league where we have 10 groups. So somewhere between a team league where you have 2, 3, 4, 5 players, and a faction where you have normally like 10 to 20 other players with you. That was abandoned, but there is still some remnant of it, right? So we created the roles. Maybe we can preview what we did with the roles instead of turning it into a faction league.
Oh yeah. Well, so we do still want people to get to choose an animal. So when you register, you will get to make yourself into an otter or a bird or a bat, whatever animal is yours. You'll get that role, and then it's going to be really more of a sort of fun, cosmetic, thing rather than a like hard factions that impact the rules. So
Right.
there may be some little stuff to do with animals, but not. It's not going to be like a full faction league.
Right, and this is the first kind of like purely cosmetic role that we've ever had on the server, and you get that cosmetic role only by playing the Bloomburrow League. So it's something new. I would assume that they're going to be popular because people were already before they were before they were ever a thing. As soon as I made the role, people were requesting to be given their animal of choice, and I think we did that temporarily for something in Mirza Koloff Manor League, if I recall correctly. But they were just temporary gifts. This time you get to keep your animal after the league is over, and you get to identify as a rat or a bat or an otter, whatever you choose. You sort of get that badge going ahead. And what we're doing is instead of making it a faction that matters in terms of the rules, we're kind of encouraging people to use your animal affiliation to find other people in the league and help and support them. So it's a bit of like a social glue cosmetic as well. No strong rules association.
I'm excited to convert my profile into my animal of choice. I have a very clear animal in mind. I think that was one of the reasons we didn't want to do the faction idea, in part, was that we thought people would really want free choice of which animal to be. Like, I think some people are really locked in on a particular furry identity.
Right.
And so having it be like you're randomly assigned, or pick 3, you get 1. Like, I think that would have been a bit of a drawback.
Yeah, we wanted to. If we're going to give it some sort of like mechanical relevance, we don't want to have lopsided factions necessarily, and we also want people to have their animal of choice, and that fits the whole theming of Bloomburrow, right? Because you're entering into this plane, and when you enter into this plane as a human, you automatically have a sort of animal appearance that you're given, or you turn into an animal, and so we wanted people to have that sort of level of flavorful immersion when they join the tournament. So I think that does a good job. All right, that's enough about frogs. Tell us what the next animal is, Adam.
Next up is lizards, also very close to Jaden's original suggestion. So people keep league crafting, keep throwing us out ideas, because we are really listening and using them.
And Jaden will appear in the rules as one of the people that help with the designs, right? Because that's what we're doing now. We're putting the LC's name, and anybody who's contributed in a meaningful way, we're going to put acknowledgments for them in the rules going ahead. So Jaden, you got yourself a mention in the rules, my friend. Thank you.
You made it.
You made it.
So close to his pitch, it's themed around sort of them being desert animals, and the pack they get is going to be the slightly controversial, internally at least, Thunder Junction, and the bonus that they get is 2 random deserts from AKR, from the original Almond, or from the remastered Almond Kit packs. So one uncommon one and one common one. And on top of that, the pack of Thunder Junction instead of Bloomburrow.
I'm thinking that my sense is that people are going to jump on the lizard. When they get the lizard, they're going to want that juiced OTJ pack sooner than later. I know that even though I have no particular love for the lizard tribe or clan or whatever you call it these days, type, I certainly do have a pro OTJ feeling about the strength of packs, and so I think lizard's going to be a very popular early choice with players.
Well, this was one of our most controversial things internally, because there's this question looming of how big a threat is even a single pack of Thunder Junction. Is it actually less powerful, maybe, to have just one pack of that instead of staying on set with Bloomburrow? Or is it just broken and we should have left it out entirely?
Stay tuned.
This is
stay tuned.
All test of that.
Yeah.
It's not going to take over the whole league, but it may have a big impact for a single pack that you get. So
this isn't WoW versus Mom all over again, right? This isn't like one other extra. This isn't an external set taking over a league, right? This is just a little spice, a little spice.
I don't think it's that one pack is going to do it, but
no, me neither.
Out
of context as well, right? There's some cards that kind of require you to have some deserts going on, and there are other cards that require you to have outlaws, and there are other cards that require you to commit crimes. And Bloomburrow is not really about any of that, and so I'm assuming that out of context, OTJ is going to be relatively depowered.
Well, that's the hope. So, if not, sorry. hopefully it's not too much.
I'm not apologizing yet. I think it's a bad look to apologize before registration opens. I refuse to apologize. I apologize afterwards if I have to, but I'm going to defend the good design that the LC's done and say, way to go. A little flavoring of OTJ for the fans, not enough to unbalance the league. Perfect. Chef's
I stand by the design. I actually was one of the team saying, yeah, we can do this. We can do Thunder Junction. But also I'm giving a conditional apology if I'm wrong. I acknowledge it's a risky pack, having just come off that set. I've still got the trauma from the power level of it.
It's a Canadian apology. We say sorry before we say hello here, so take that with a grain of salt. All right, what's our next animal?
Well, so we have two linked ones coming up, Mouse and Otter. I'll do them at the same time because they both give a pack of Bloomburrow. And both of them give 2 random spells. The Mouse gives 2 random spells from a sheet that we've made, a bonus sheet that we call Tiny Heroes. And it's some sort of notable 1/1s from Magic's history. So 1 power, 1 toughness creatures. And we made a list of 30 or 40 of them. And we will give 2 to each player at random when they pick the Mouse. And then for the Otter, because their theme is more like spell slinging, we're going to give 2 random spells from what we're calling the Animal Arcana. So that's instants and sorceries that have animal theming from the game's history. Both of those lists we're going to publish with the rules. And I was saying we're going to have a little period where we're open to people feeding back and we might make some tweaks. So we're pretty happy with where these lists landed, but take a look at them, see what you think. Are there any cards that shouldn't be on there? They're too weak, they're too strong, they're too weird, whatever.
Yeah, I got to say though, so whenever the league committee is forced to make these kinds of decisions, what I call the curation problem, we come under the potential for scrutiny and criticism, right? Because it's not Wizards making these bonus card lists, it's us. And so I think we have to be really careful to ensure they're not unbalanced and that they're thematically justifiable. Normally I have some issue or two with these lists. I had no problem this time. I thought that both the lists were fair, well-balanced, and thematically interesting enough to sort of justify them as part of the boon. So I think that we've done a good job of addressing the curation problem with these lists, and I am actually excited to see what bonus cards people get and use, and which ones end up on the cutting room floor. So I think that's a kind of an exciting sub-game that's built in there.
Well, I think we've gotten really good at the curation. I mean, I think some people are naturally really, really strong. So we've got both Johnny and Jordan, everyone on the LC, but they both, I think, just have like a passion for doing that kind of curation.
Yeah, they do.
We're all playing the Zombie League right now that both Johnny and Jordan contributed a lot to how that list of extra cards was shaped for that, and I think it looks amazing so far. So I think we have some really good skills there. But then also, when we did the Lost Caverns League, we opened it up to some feedback and made some tweaks initially. And so I do think there's, the community is also really good at giving us feedback on how balanced things are going to be, or cool, creative ways to fix stuff, or cards we just totally missed that we should have on there. So I'm looking forward to seeing where people think and if we need to make any tweaks or if we got it right-ish the first time.
I mean, there's been a lot of boons that were either nerfed or left on the cutting room floor. Do you want to give us one of the sort of roads not traveled for either of these animals?
Yeah, well, so I won't. Maybe I can give you one for the animals. So we were just talking about the power of OTJ, and one of the fallout from the debate, one of the fallouts from the debate over whether or not OTJ is too powerful, is that one of the animal boons that we had originally slated to include, that I was pretty excited for, but it was definitely the most problematic, was one that didn't give you a bonus when you picked it, but or even a pack. It gave you no bonus, no pack. But when you pick your next one, it was doubled. So if you had picked the doubler into Lizard, you would get 2 packs of OTJ plus 4 random deserts.
Yeah.
Which was cool, but it did threaten to make any sort of balance issue we had twice as big. So
yeah, I think we were wise to take out the doubler. I think that was the most abusable, or one of the most abusable, proposals that we had on the docket.
Yeah, that was the most touch and go, but it would have been a lot of fun. So happy to hear if people think we should throw that one back on. But
never gives up. Never gives up, folks.
I was won over by the argument that it was too powerful. I was against it initially, but it was just so problematic. All of our ideas ran up against, but what happens if you choose the frog where you get 2 packs after the doubler? So now 4 packs, and what does you double skip your next one? Like, how does that work? So it was just, there were too many issues with implementation.
Yeah, the combinatorials were too daunting, I think, at that point. I think we got them down to a manageable level, and still an exciting level, I think. So I think we end up at a pretty good spot, but maybe you got to walk us through the next animal before we decide.
Yeah, we've got 4 left on the list. The next one up is rabbit. This one, pretty straightforward. We chose this before we knew what rabbits would look like mechanically in the set, but I think we nailed it. And it's just, you get a pack of Bloomburrow and you get to copy 1 common from the pack. So the idea is it's sort of rabbits multiplying. In set, they do like offspring, like tokens of themselves. So it's like they copy themselves. It's a pretty good flavor fit. I think we nailed that one.
Yeah, I think that so this kind of harkens back to another design issue that we've occasionally had. Like, there's been leagues where we've allowed silver bullets, right, where people can just choose whatever common or whatever uncommon, or sometimes even whatever rare they wanted, and add it to their decks. And that's always been unbalancing. It's always led to league feeling like a sort of semi-constructed. This fixes the silver bullet issue by making it contingent on what you open in your pack. So yeah, it's slightly targeted in that you do get to pick which common you copy, but there's a subset of commons that is so small that it can't really be easily abusable. So I think that this rabbit boon kind of is silver bullets done right.
We'll see. I mean, we also set this before Modern Horizons 3 came out, and that has like the god tier common of all time in it, the Writhing Chrysalis. So if we end up seeing a common come out in Bloomburrow that's that level,
but you gotta open it. You gotta open it at the same time that you get your bunny boon, and you only ever get 1 bunny boon. So I think maybe it's all right. What was really worrisome for me was, I think one of the proposals, I think by Jordan, was like, hey, let's give people 20 commons in a pack, and that'll be a special boon. I'm like, no. I mean, I'm already one of the guys that thinks we should have a 4 of limit. I don't want to see, somebody have like 8 copies of a broken common. And as commons and uncommons are rising in power in modern Magic, it can be problematic. I think we're going to see a time when we might want to reinstate the 4 of rule. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm waiting for the day that Wizards makes that reality. But anyway, in the meantime, I do think that this was a neat solution to the silver bullet problem, what we come to call that in design. What's our next furry, adorable creature?
All right, so actually, I think I'm going to skip. I'm going to come back to raccoon at the end because it needs a little context first.
Sure.
So we'll go to rats, who have a scavenge theme going on. And that's a mechanic we've used before, but it's going to be you open one pack of Bloomburrow, one pack of Wilds of Eldraine, and then you just select one of the 2 packs and you trash the other one. So I say trash there because we're going to come back in a second.
Put a little footnote there for later. Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to choose. So that's just a basic open 2 packs, pick one. You either stay on set or you get a Wild with Eldraine pack, which we thought was like thematically. All the other packs we picked had a sort of, I think, like a animals theme, storybook theme. That's been something that we tried when we chose specific packs to put in to include those kinds of sets, ones that felt flavorfully and mechanically like a little bit relevant to the current set. So I think that'll be an interesting choice. And then you throw out the other pack, and then now we can talk about raccoons.
Well, let's talk about rats a little bit more. I think that this execution, where they're looting for packs, I think it's quite flavorful for sort of rats. They sort of like dig through stuff and they chuck out what they don't want. But they also, in the set, I think in Bloomburrow, they're kind of like the clairvoyant faction or animal. And so I think that this kind of feeds into that because we have a blind reroll with the bat, right? Which makes sense. Bats are blind. They get a blind reroll with the Explorer Pat. But we have here a choice of 2 that are in front of you at the same time, and that kind of feeds into the flavor of rats being semi-clairvoyant in this plane. I think it's a win.
I like that. Yeah, I'm also pretty happy with it. I hadn't thought about that angle, but definitely the sort of digging through and picking out from the trash. That's a big rat theme.
Big rat energy, I think. Big rat energy.
Big rat energy.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to take us into the next animal?
Yes. So now the raccoon, which we skipped. So that is, instead of a pack, what you're going to get is your choice of 3 packs, but they're packs that people have trashed from other options. So when you do the rat, you pick one of the 2 packs, you throw the other out. That goes into a pool of packs that are available when you pick raccoon, as are the packs that when you re-roll a pack for using your map tokens that you get from the bat,
right,
the pack that you re-roll gets tossed in the trash as well. And raccoons have the ability to choose from 3 random ones that are still in the trash and take it, and then that's your pack now. It goes back out of the trash when you claim it. So I think that's super flavorful, pretty cool.
Yeah, the trash panda getting a little bit of respect here. I do like this one. I do like this idea. In terms of where did we end up? I know that we had a little bit of a debate about how we're going to handle the raccoon boon early in the league. Because I know late in the league we're going to have way more trash than we are people using it, because we have at least we have, I think, 2 and a bit times more opportunities to trash packs than we do to recover packs from the trash. So given that fact, I think we had proposed the idea of putting a floor of trash down at the beginning of the tournament. So if you're one of the first people to get raccoon, you could potentially use it. I think we agreed on 10 packs as a floor on that, right?
I got 7 in the rules, but yeah, it's going to be a number like that. That may still be subject to change. Right now, it won't appear until we've trashed 7 packs. People won't receive raccoon as a random option. Once there's a certain number of packs in there, then raccoon appears, and obviously as the league progresses, we'll be trashing way more packs than we're taking out of the trash. So it should only be an issue the first.
So the idea here, I guess, is that you have 3 options in front of you, but the downside is that these are options that nobody else wanted, right? So.
Yeah.
So in other words, you've got an embarrassment of choice in front of you, but it's also
it's trash.
Yeah. Hopefully,
It'd be good.
yeah.
Excited for it. Yeah, so many packs that people threw out,
yeah.
or that they didn't choose when they had the choice between two.
Now,
I think
if for example,
wonderful.
though, right, we have this floor of trash at the beginning of the tournament, I might be tempted to go raccoon early to get at those packs that really nobody threw away. Perfectly good trash for the raccoon early on.
Oh wait, no. I think you're on a different page than I am. So what we decided on, subject to any group discussion or league ideas, is that we're going to wait to offer raccoon. So we're not doing fake trash.
Oh no!
This was the meme.
Oh no!
There's no fake trash. All the trash will be packs that people genuinely did not want, and they just won't. No one will receive the option of going raccoon until 7 packs have been thrown in the trash.
Okay.
So
there's no way
to
target what's in there.
Well, as long as there are 7 or more, you can get it as a choice. So it will never appear if there's only 5 or 6 packs in there. And yeah, we're not generating fake ones. We're just going to have a pool of options, and as you pick them, they get removed. And as people create more trash, it'll just grow and grow because there's a lot more ways to create trash than to take packs.
And of course, that's all thanks to Steve's implementation. So thanks for making that possible, Steve. I, for one, am going to miss the fake trash. That would be a great early raccoon strategy. Seems pretty busted to me. But if we want to make it, if you want to do it that way, I guess late game raccooning will also be fun. How many more animals do we have left?
Just one.
All right,
let's just the squirrel. The mighty squirrel. And this the squirrel we kind of themed it around stashing acorns for a later day. So you'll get the choice between just taking right now your Bloomburrow pack or waiting, and on your next loss you get whatever else you were going to get on your next loss, but you also get your pack of Bloomburrow and a bonus pack of Eldraine because you waited, because you stashed it away for later.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if I understand correctly, and maybe you can disabuse me if I'm wrong, Adam, if I take the squirrel boon, I don't get anything on this loss, but next loss I get the 2 I would get from the stashing it away, plus the 1 that I'm already going to get from picking the next boon. So that's 3 packs on my next loss.
Absolutely. But it's kind of like a marshmallow testing. So you could, when you pick squirrel, just take a Bloomburrow pack, and then that's it. It's just a pack, nothing else. Or you can wait, and then your next loss you're going to be getting usually 3 packs plus another little bonus. So
those who are taking stats on the league, maybe Lotta, yours should pick up here. I'd be interested to see how many of us pass the marshmallow test and actually claim the stash, and how many people are like, give me it now, I need Bloomburrow, just put it right in my veins. I'm curious to see how many of us actually wait for the triple pack on the next loss.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I imagine a lot of people will wait just because it's the more flavorful thing to do. But then the later in the league you're choosing this, I think the more you just take the pack right away and don't wait another loss.
So nobody's stashing in week 6, maybe even week 5 is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Like, why would you, right? Why would you push it? And certainly if you're at pack 10, you would never do it. But even if you're somewhere along the line to there, it's like the more you wait at that point, the less impact it's going to have for you. So I think there's some cool, a number of the options have cool tension in that way, or are differently powered depending on when you take them during the league.
For those who enjoyed the Honest Rutstein bot too, I think there's going to be something similar that you and Steve are working up together that's going to sort of guide you through the boon paths as you sort of find your way through the tournament. So there'll be an aid for players there, again, which I'm looking forward to interacting with, because you guys always do a great job with those sort of, I wouldn't want to call them, AI agents, but certainly I did feel like by the end, Rutstein and I were on speaking terms, right? Whenever I got a pack from him in OTJ, I'm like, this guy knows my soul. So I'm hoping for something.
It's not artificial intelligence, it's just fake intelligence.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how this is going to be implemented, and I'm excited to see the flavor. Because again, that this league is largely about the flavor. How is that flavor represented in the mega draft? So the end of the tournament, right? We always have the mega draft. What shape did it take this time?
Well, so we have gone with just a mega draft of 6 packs like normal, and it's going to start with a Bloomburrow pack, and then it's going to go from there to the other packs that are available in this set. That I said were kind of thematically linked.
Right. So the ones that we use for old boons, right?
Yes. So the other packs that we had as boons, which are Thunder Junction, Lost Caverns, Wilds of Eldraine, Original Eldraine, and then we're going to finish with another Bloomburrow pack. So that I think will tie together the sets with kind of thematic overlap or animal focus. Should be a good mega draft. I actually think that's a pretty exciting set of packs to go together.
Yeah, me too. And I think this is the first time that we've ever done the bookends concept, where you have like the main set at the beginning and the main set again at the end, which kind of fits with the storybook animals theming. I'm always trying to tie flavor into mechanics, and I think this is actually intentionally or unintentionally kind of a good thing that was that came out of the league crafting, not league crafting, sorry, but the LC's deliberations on the topic.
Yeah, I like the bookends just generally. I think that's a good idea for mega drafts. Lots of times we have so many packs we want to do that we don't use that, but I think having it be the main set is a little bit more represented, and at the like crucial bits of the draft, the beginning and the end, I think that'll give it the mega draft a bit more of a Bloomsburrow feel to it.
Yeah, I think it's also it's the hero's journey, right? You come full circle. So if this was going to be a map league like we'd planned, you'd start off, you go on a misadventure to all sorts of different planes, and you'd circle back to your little nest or hole in the ground or whatever it is that you started out from. I think there is some sort of like nice completion of the circle there that occurs at the end.
Yeah, the hero's journey complete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and it also ties into, I think one of the things, I don't know how intentional this was, but that you would be discussing with some people in the league crafting channel, like I think Bob was also very interested in this idea, around having the pack options be tied thematically to the main set, right? So I know that when you were talking about it, that was when you were talking about more of like, you could choose from any of these packs on any of your losses, but even here where it's more structured than that, I think it's fun. I do like it from a fun perspective to have the sets that we're drawing from for the mega draft and in the league be ones that are connected in some way. They feel similar to the main set that we're playing in general.
And that's intentional, right? Because like Woe and like Wilds of Eldraine and Original Eldraine, they do have like a heavy animal theme and storybook animals, and those seemed relevant to Bloomburrow. So this is kind of the beginning of that craft your own standard kind of idea that we were discussing. And I mean, moving ahead to sort of preview Duskmourn a little bit, I mean, we're already talking about bringing in sets like Midnight Hunt and Vow and Shadows over Innistrad Remastered and Mirza Karloff Manor. Like all the spooky sets are kind of being considered as flavorful punishment pack adds for that theming, which I think is spot on. Again, that's what we should be doing, is sort of trying to make it more atmospheric, more thematic, and seeing how those weird combinations of packs kind of leads to an interesting meta. So I'm excited to see how this works in Bloomburrow League. I'm excited to see how it works kind of moving ahead to Duskmourn and beyond.
Absolutely. Should be good.
Now, we should say that there might be some people who are let down because I think from a very early time, as soon as we saw, 10 factions in Bloomburrow, this is our first 10 faction league, let's go. I was all in, maybe setting some expectations there. So just to say that we haven't necessarily given up on the 10 faction league idea for those who are fans of that. Just wait and see. We're thinking of pushing it forward to somewhere where it's even more thematically appropriate. Say, for example, some future Ravnica-themed set release. So the idea is still on the back burner. It's still something we might come back to. So if you had your hopes and dreams pinned on that league idea, nothing ever goes to waste, right? We just we put it on the back burner for a while. We'll come back to it when it hits the hardest and the best. But we did design the best league we could for Bloomburrow, try to keep it on point, and hopefully you agree with us that this came together quite nicely.
We'll find out soon.
Find out soon. Any final thoughts, Adam? Anything you wanted to say to the audience?
No, just that I'm super excited for this set. I think in general, I feel almost like manipulated by Wizards. Like it's so like, it seems like such a great set. Like it is so cute. I'm almost a bit like they know they're doing this on purpose to get people in, but I buy into it. Like I think this is gonna be a really fun set. I love the sort of red wall animal adventure theming. Like
Yeah,
I just think that's
there's like a root board game kind of feel to it as well. You know.
Totally. Yeah, it's going to be good. So I'm pumped, and I'm pumped for the league that we've set up around it. I feel like pretty passionate about this one. So this is the set I'm most excited for of any of the ones we know are coming right now.
Oh, really? Wow. You know,
I think so, and even the ones that we've had recently. I think this is the thing in the last at least year or two where I've been most like, this is the set for me.
Right.
I think a lot of people feel that way. Like I do think it's just such an obvious hit of an idea, right? The animal adventures and a whole animal world, very close to Lorwyn, which I also love.
Yeah. If we could add Lorwyn as a pack of choice, that would be another obvious ad. But it's not on Arena yet. Come on, Wizards, come on. I agree with you. I'm in for the set. I'm in for the theming and the world that they're presenting. I like the cards I've seen so far. They look like they're interesting and also challenging in some cases. And I'm also looking forward to stumbling through this adventure over the next 6 weeks like everybody else. I'll be wrangling with what choice to make, which boon to accept and which to reject at each loss along the way. And I imagine I'll get the chance to do all 10 choices, given my recent history in League. I imagine I'll be enjoying all of those choices. All right, Adam, thanks very much for, again, all the work that you do as part of the League Committee. Thanks in particular for volunteering to come and speak with me today on Leagues Ahead. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Burrow very soon.
I'm looking forward to it too.
Cheers, man. See you next time.
Cheers.
Bye.